As countries strive to reach herd immunity from COVID-19 through vaccination, a big incentive for many people is winning back the right to travel freely. But as more countries open borders and loosen rules, it's becoming clear that not all vaccines were created equal. Liz Maddock takes a look.
As vaccines were still being developed, wealthy nations began to buy up big, and concerns grew that the developing world would be left behind. And so COVAX was conceived, a UN-backed program to supply shots to poorer nations. The EU helped fund the scheme, but has now deemed many of the vaccines administered under it, most of which coming from China, India and Russia, inadequate for entry. That's despite endorsement of those vaccines by the World Health Organization. The WHO says that undermines vaccine confidence and complicates global efforts to restart travel. The EU itself is split on the subject. Several countries, including Belgium and Germany, will allow people to enter if they've had non-EU endorsed vaccines. Several others, like France and Italy, won't. Now, Australia is getting ready to unwind some of the world's strictest border restrictions. When it opens up, it's hoping thousands of foreign students from Asia will return and bring back a multi-billion-dollar revenue source. With that in mind, the government has announced it'll recognise China's Sinovac and Indian-made AstraZeneca jabs known as Covishield. Its neighbour, New Zealand, won't. And the UK has gone a step further than any other nation, bringing the question of where a person has been vaccinated into the equation. Initially, the UK would only recognise shots administered domestically. It broadened that in July to include the EU and US. And as of this week, travellers who've been vaccinated in about 50 countries will be treated the same as UK citizens and can avoid quarantine on arrival. But if you've been vaccinated in, say, India, Latin America or Africa, then the UK regards you as unvaccinated, and it's time for a PCR test and 10-day quarantine.
Let's discuss this with Dr. Bharat Pankania. He's a senior clinical lecturer at the University of Exeter Medical School, joining us from Bath in the UK. Doctor, always good to have you on the program. I know that you are recently recovering from COVID-19 yourself, so thank you for joining us. Doctor, just talk us through the criteria the UK is now using to decide which vaccination programs to recognise and which not to.
Yeah, so it's very confusing, and it is also very unfortunate because Covishield, made in India, is exactly the same formula that is the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine used in the United Kingdom. So it baffles, absolutely baffles me that the UK government has decided that Indians immunized in India have to quarantine upon return or visiting the United Kingdom.
It's baffling everyone. I mean, this is something that's being spoken about so much. It's not just people in India, but so many other parts of the world, many parts of Africa and Latin America as well. And it all actually seems quite ironic because the COVAX system is a system the UK supports. So it seems ironic that they wouldn't actually recognize the vaccines administered in certain parts of the world.
So I think what the United Kingdom is trying to say without saying it is they don't trust people who have been immunized in India with a piece of paper originating from India, considering the Indian vaccination program is WHO approved, considering the paperwork from India is also WHO approved. Of course, there will be some forgeries and things. However, overall, the Indian immunization program is as safe as any other countries. So it is very baffling. But there is one more thing that we really mustn't lose the wood for the trees, which is, so what are you looking for when you say you have been fully immunized? Because as you said, you can be fully immunized, like myself, and still get infected and be infectious. Therefore, the immunization is only a piece of paper that you've been fully immunized. What we should be doing is looking out for travelers returning from sensitive countries who may bring in a variant of concern. That is the wood for the trees we're completely forgetting to address.
Yeah, it's a very good point that you make, something that does need to be looked at. Doctor, I'm also just wondering, though, that because of this reaction from the United Kingdom, the African Union actually issued a statement saying that because of this, it could actually increase vaccine hesitancy across Africa and also create distrust in the community. Is that something that you agree with?
I'm very concerned about it because I talk to the African nations frequently, and there is a lot of vaccine hesitancy. And then when a European nation like the United Kingdom suddenly starts casting shadows, concerns, unexplainable decisions about Covishield, which is exported and sent to Africa in large numbers, it creates that it may not be good enough, which is such a pity. It is a wrong decision made by the United Kingdom.
Wrong decision indeed, and I'm sure many are agreeing with you on that. Dr. Bharat Pankhania speaking to us there from Bath in the UK. Great to get your expertise. Thank you.